It's there, look. It's there. Dinner's there. Okay. Morning. Okay, Alexa, check it when she does.
You're in the way.
Oven? Okay, turn the oven off, then I'll do it later. Yeah. No. Banana bread. Yeah, a little bit.
Alexa.
You're not playing. So, where's your glasses? Find mine.
No. Yeah.
Running.
Oh, good. All right. Yeah.
You're not playing, are you? No. Okay. Fair enough. Got Lulu. When she got Lulu. When she got Lulu. Yeah. Oh. Hey, move. Up here.
Hi
Morning,
guys.
everybody.
I'm not going to play with it because maybe wants it. Is that what's going on?
How is she doing, Judith? Is she okay?
Yes, she's doing really well. Yeah, she starts her hydrotherapy on Tuesday.
Yeah. Nervous, happy?
Well, she's not nervous. She doesn't know anything about it, but it's going to be interesting because she's not keen on water.
What's happening?
Sorry?
What's happening?
Tilly starts hydrotherapy on Tuesday.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, so, but it very rarely pops out at the moment, so it's really good. But then she's still only on lead walks, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Can it get better?
Yes.
Thank
It
you.
can.
Well,
So
I've seen a massive improvement since obviously we went to the vets. Massive improvement. So yeah.
But can it get to a point where there's nothing wrong with it at all, or will it always have a predisposition to pop?
And Julie?
Because her the patella groove where the patella just fit is not as deep as it should be, that the combination of being young and having weak ligaments, so they're not being held into the space as tightly as they should be. So she's got a slightly, her patella groove is not as deep as it should be, and the combination of being young and having weaker ligaments means that it's not pulled into position as well as it should be. So the question of whether or not it can be healed, yes, if she develops a good strong ligament either side of the knee that pulls her patella into place, then that should be enough to maintain it for the rest of her life.
Good.
The only thing that could go wrong is as she ages, if she develops arthritis and that groove is therefore becomes less deep again. Yeah, so regardless of how strong her ligaments are, it's still going to want to slip out of place. Yeah.
Or hopefully as she gets older, she won't be quite as mad.
My little sister's got the same problem, and hers dislocated 2 or 3 times when she was a kid and hasn't dislocated ever since. But she has got a recognised weakness there.
Yeah.
So, yes, it can be made better. But if it's not a particularly for some dogs, the surgeries, you'd have to take such a very, very fine amount of bone out of there that it's not worth the risk for the amount of future arthritis that you get. And I think she's one of them that she's right on the cusp. You know, that's why they thought that she probably would need surgery, because it was dislocating. But then having done the x-rays,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So
Thank you.
right then. So yeah, I meant to say, have they got a hydro tank? Because Twiggy hates water, and she, because of her hip, she did hydro, but she went in the tank instead.
To be honest, I don't know. I'm all a bit blurry this week, and I think they have. Yes. So we'll find out.
She got to the point where she was perfectly happy working in the tank, and after about 6 months going every couple of weeks, we tried her in the pool, and she definitely was just going to panic and be an idiot in the pool.
Yeah.
So, but we got into the hydro tank where she was walking up to shoulder depth. So
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd ask.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit
Who else? And just unmute ourselves again, because we can have a. Oh, Sammy looks like she's just done what I've just done. I literally got out of bed, brushed my hair so that it was at least it hadn't got any knots in
Yeah,
it.
you're right.
That's about as far as I got this morning.
Thank you.
I was trying to get Twiggy in a play kind of frame of mind, and I almost got there, and then Maybe came in and said, "I'll have that." And Twig won't argue with her, not at all. Maybe wants something, it's yours. So kick May out.
We managed a full night's sleep.
No, really. A whole night.
The whole night. Harry had to get up at 6 to let him out, give him his breakfast, otherwise he shouts the house down. I know, not good. We're giving in, but I need my sleep. And then he came back to bed till 8:30. So
He's going to be the perfect dog, doesn't he? When
We were really lucky. We had good night's sleep. We were really lucky. We had good night's sleep straight away with Poppy. No problems.
you're rubbing it in now, Gil.
Downstairs in the lounge in her crate, where she still goes now. No issues. So,
My dogs get irritated with me every single night. They make it clear that their preferred bedtime is 10 o'clock. And every single night I'm still in front of the telly on the sofa, you know, midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever. And then I demand that they leave their comfortable beds in order to transfer into the office to sleep for the night. And every single night, Twiggy says, "Why? I'm comfortable, I'm warm. I know it's going to be cold upstairs. I don't want to go," every single night. And I'm like, "But there's going to be treats up there." And everyone else is going, "Yay, treats." And Twiggy comes wandering out of the living room. She's like, "Okay then." Like that. So yeah,
I
poor
think he
dog.
probably was worn out from training last night.
Bless him.
But we'll do that every night, Julie. We'll get in touch every night.
That'd be hilarious. Julie, well, you want me to train you?
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious now though, because I'm looking at you and I'm thinking you could teach a class.
Mm.
So I'm like, I'm kind of thinking,
oh my God.
time to get some of these girls spreading the word a bit.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, if you could teach me how to stop the buggers barking, because now he's doing it.
You're just really, really good at teaching dogs to bark.
It's gone again. It's every few seconds.
You don't bark at all, does she?
Gil's getting annoyed with her
Bark
internet.
at all. Barks
I
come in
am.
and that's it. Oh, barks at the fence.
Yeah.
Fence, imaginary people.
Yeah, Tilly's barking as well now.
Oh,
She spotted the window cleaner this morning from right over the road, up the ladder, in a different street, but she spotted him.
These
No.
right when they want
She does
feeding.
it. She's always done it in the workroom.
So I had a bit of a scare this week. I'm going
Ooh.
to mute you. So at work, the girls, everybody obviously comes to work with me every day, and they get literally 5-10 minutes at the most for a quick toilet break while I have my half an hour lunch, because I've got to get upstairs and warm it up and sit and eat it and whatever. So their 10 minutes involves me waiting until the coast is clear of other dogs that are in treatment, because they're in the shared kennel room, and then making sure there's no other dogs or people coming into the main walkway that we've got to get through. And then making sure that the second walkway that we've got to get through, there isn't anybody going to suddenly appear through doors and things. Because Twiggy has always had this issue with territory. As soon as she's in a space, if somebody else suddenly comes into that space, she has a problem with it. So I'm on my guard, and I'm finally reached the back door, and I'm like, yes, fine, we've made it. So it's that little anxiety every single time we do it. Let them out the back door, taking their leads off, look up, there's the oxygen delivery man stood next to the oxygen thing. So maybe, little shit, always says, who goes there? Always. She doesn't mean it in any nasty way. She just says, who goes there? And Dodo goes, there's a person and he loves people, and he goes over. Well, maybe he's already barked, so he's going to bark as well. And Twiggy goes, what the fuck? There's somebody in the garden. And she goes diving off towards him going, rah, 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 rah. And this poor man absolutely pooed himself, escaped through the other gate, shut the gate behind him. She'd never actually got there because she had recalled, but he didn't know that. So I'm like, oh God, now somebody's going to complain. I haven't heard anything yet, but I'd be like, how annoying, when you've got these procedures and these things that you do to keep yourself safe, and you're on watch, and you finally go, oh, we're fine, and then back. So yeah. Now I've got to remember every single time, which I usually do because I usually look to check that the intermediate gate's closed, but on this occasion I'd already started to unhook them before I looked up, so we'll see.
So you're
Anyway.
human.
Oh yeah, definitely. And she's a hell of a dog to have that kind of. I mean, that's the way it is. That's what she's like, and that's what she's always going to be like. But yeah, you can't solve every problem. You have to manage. You have to manage a lot of your issues with your dogs. You have to just organize your life around them. I'm never going to be any less people fearful than I am. And if I had an owner, they would have to take that into account. They wouldn't expect me to be able to socialize with every single human that I met and do so feeling comfortable and happy about it. And that's my view with your dog. If your dog's got an issue, which is a big part of their personality, then you have to kind of learn to work around it. Yeah, so go on then. Who else has had some fun go on with their dogs? It doesn't matter even if it's not as dramatic as mine. Puppies learn to bark, but that's because Andrea's just really good at training dogs to bark. Yeah, and go on then, let's have it. We're going to put everyone on the spot. We're going to get anybody. Because they're still in teenage mode, so you are still allowed to have issues with them,
Sorry about the washing machine noise. I never factored that in when I thought I was in the kitchen this time. We have figured out she won't walk without the boy now. And how ridiculous is that?
So the thing is, with somebody who's got that underlying nervousness, which she's always had, she's now found a companion who she feels safe with. And, she needs him there. He's her security blanket now. Tilly. Plus, I think that there's a degree of, she doesn't really need to walk at the moment because she's using up all her energy and her enthusiasm on the
Yeah,
baby.
right at the minute, she's full of it. This is
Probably
how
shattered. I mean, she's a new mum, bless her. She's rest.
and you can't make her walk. She will sit down. We had this with our older retrievers where they would decide they weren't going unless she'd got a packet of wafer thin ham. But she's deciding it now at 15 months old. I'm going to sit here and there's not a lot you can do about it. It's not like I can pick her up.
So the thing is, once he starts working further, you can just walk him ahead and she'll have to keep up, won't she? She'll be like,
He is
oh,
doing.
he's leaving me. He's leaving me.
Right at the minute, he's charging ahead. He's got no fear. A dog came around the corner today and it was, I don't know what it was, a staffy mix, and it wasn't dog friendly. And it was rah, 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 both of them. And Sid kept walking and he went, what's your problem, mate? What's your problem? In a happy way, and kept on walking. And then the next dog he met was sitting in a wheelchair having a push. And he was like, hello, hello. So he hasn't got the fear yet.
Good. Oh, maybe says she wants to come in. She's banging on the door. Oh, it's good. I mean, we know that he will, and then the combination of the two is going to become fun because she'll feel like she's got to help him, and if she's a little bit nervous as well. So, and that's camera move.
You can't.
It's a ghost. There's a ghost in my camera.
Mhm.
Anyway, anyone else want a moan? Anyone else want to celebrate?
Rem's a lot like Twiggy actually, with the whole like area kind of thing. But yeah, than that.
But she was like that right from the beginning when I first met you for that walk. You know, and she said, oh my God, there's a dog over there. And you're like trying to calm her down and stuff. And saying just, you know.
To be honest, actually, since we've got Aspen, she's doing a lot better with dogs. It's just people now. So Aspen's worked a lot of good for Remy with dogs. He's so confident, he just doesn't care. But yeah, but it's just humans now. But I think we're always going to have that thing. And because I'm anxious as well, like you are, it's not helping.
No, it's difficult. We can pretend, can't we? We can pretend confidence for the sake of our dogs. And sometimes that helps us as well, because it makes us be braver than we would normally be. But yeah, I think they still know, you know, there's still pheromones running around saying my owner's a bit freaky. So yeah. Anyone else? Should we just do some playing around? Oh, Jill wants to go. Go on then, Jill.
It's just walking with Poppy still, but I'm booked in now for a one-to-one with you in 2 weeks' time. But I picked her up and brought her home yesterday because she managed to get her bit off her nose again. So I said, right, that's it. Picked her up and I just carried her back home, and she didn't go. And Jim and Archie continued walking, and he more or less had to drag Archie around because, of course, Archie was wondering where we were. And then we tried to go to the field with her, this time just on harness, trying to control her with the harness, pulling like mad. So I tried we'll turn around, go back. Would she? Heckers like turn around. She's up on her hind legs like this, fighting not to. So she got picked up again and carried back home again. So you're going to have fun in 2 weeks, Julie, I'm telling you, because she might be little, but my God, is she persistent and determined to do what she wants to do, and nothing's making a difference. Like I say, the nose things, she trots along beautifully, and I'm thinking, oh great, she's walking nicely with this on, and then all of a sudden, just like that, she's up on her hind legs, flicking it, and it's off because it's released the tension. She knows exactly what she's doing. Absolutely, she's driving me mad. So yeah, so 2 weeks.
You do know I'm not going to just wave a magic wand and mend it, don't you?
I know, but I'm in such a, you know, I don't know whether to continue with the head things or not. I don't know which harness to use now for the best. I don't know whether the training lead is the best thing to use, which is what I've got, or whether I need another sort of lead. So I'm in such a confused state with it all because everything I have tried isn't working. It's not making any difference. So, you know, the advice on which harness, which lead, that would just be brilliant. And then, because I know it's going to take a long time and a lot of work, but it's driving us bonkers because the way she is with it, I mean, you saw on the videos, there's absolutely no way we could go for a long walk with her because she just keeps going. She just keeps going like that. And we can have her around the field, running after our ball, etc. And you'd think, yeah, she's going to walk lovely back home. Does she? Heckers like. She pulls just as much as she did on the way to the field. It is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. So yeah, 2 weeks time, I'm looking forward to it. Because boy, we need help.
What occurs to me is that when we're watching you doing your work inside, she's brilliant. She's really, really good. She understands the whole close work. So what you might actually have is somebody who just really hates the sensation of being trapped, which I had the same issue with my Springer. You know, as soon as you got him off lead, he would work like a Trojan and be perfectly happy to be close to you. But if you put restraint on him or put him the other side of a fence, he wanted to be out of that sensation of being trapped. So the difficulty with that obviously is the more you put on her and the more restraint factors you use on her, the more you're making her want to fight against it. But yeah, we'll have a look. Anyone else then, or should we just play some games? Oh, look at that. That's service, Maria. Can you grab me one? Because mine's empty. No? Damn. Should have brought a pot up with me. Okay. How's everybody getting on with getting their dog's back end moving? Have you seen an improvement? Not really. Okay. So we're going to have a look at another game. Well, again, Sid, what's up? You were perfect anyway.
Well, I have to admit, we haven't done a lot of practice. In fact, I mean, we haven't done any. So it's look at the draw really at the minute because we're so knackered. We'll give it a go. She might just be that tired. She'll be complicit.
Oh. Anyway, so Maria, you look like I do with Dodo every single day. Get off my face. And Sammy, you put your hand up earlier. What's gone on?
Well, it's actually a celebration. Sorry to everybody else. But Artie, you know, Artie's got a bell at the back door, so he tells you when he wants to go out. I've taught him this week now to open the back door from the outside so he can let himself back in, so I can shut the door.
Oh no, but now you need to teach him to shut the door.
Really?
Yeah, were you not here for that class? We all know how to shut doors, don't we?
We had a dog that did that. Gosh, did we regret it in the winter.
Letting themselves in is a really good idea. I like that. But you need to teach him to shut it. You don't lose all your warmth.
Yeah. But yeah. So sorry, but mine is a celebration this week.
That's all right.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll give it a round of applause. Okay. So I'm just trying to remember. My brain's gone mad. There's an exercise I want to do with you, but I want to make sure I've got the first stage of it right in my head before I show it to you. I'm just going to have a quick play, so don't watch for a minute because I might change what I'm doing. Oh, just need a head. I'll borrow that one. No, I'll borrow the other one.
Are you all okay? Poor Jill, I feel so sorry for you.
Oh,
It must be horrible.
And you've got a bad hand, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I do, and I've got a bit of arthritis, but her pulling, it's caused problems with my tendons as well. So I
Oh,
started using the belt, which was brilliant for me because I wasn't actually holding the lead. But of course, it wasn't doing anything for her pulling because she still tended to pull on it. So I've gone back to using the lead to try and stop her pulling. So I'm a bit between a rock and a hard place at the minute with her. But I don't look forward to going out for a walk
no,
because
horrible.
I know it's going to be awful because she just pulls and she pants so much. I'm concerned about the effect that it has on her, especially if the weather's going to get warmer because she's going to be hot anyway.
What about that place that Julie suggested that we could all go to at some point when we're allowed?
Well, I'm going to book there, I think, because like Sid, she's still on the long line because of the field we're taken to. Although she keeps checking in and keeps coming back, she really is good at that. And if I shout her, she will come if she's at the full length, even if she's sniffing or something. But I want to double check, and I'm going to use that place as a place to let her off and check my recall before I feel safe enough to let her off on the field that we're
Well, I'm
on. Plus,
definitely up for that.
yeah, you get a lot of dogs on Taylor's Avenue field anyway. So I want to be sure that she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's a nice setup that they've got as well. There's lots of different spaces that you can go into that are all secure. So
Where
yeah.
is it, Julie?
It's in yeah. I always forget where it's called. It's called Way, but it's right in the
become Pemby.
Yeah, it's sort of.
Right.
It's sort of behind Waltham.
Right.
It's in the triangle. If you've got the A16 and Waltham, the triangle, it's in the middle and it's called Way. So
Oh, I know where Wave is.
yeah. But it's
But
yeah,
we'll give that a go when we can.
yeah. I think it'd be fun for us all to go. And once they're open properly, they've got a little cafe and stuff. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about back end awareness again and how to get them moving in a way that you can then predictably reinforce. Okay, so I'm going to use the clicker just because Twiggy loves clicker. And I was just checking what I need her to do. Go that way. Is I need her to move backwards to put her feet onto an object so she can feel that her feet have touched an object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reward her right between my legs. So her head and her body come forward and click as she walks backwards, or say yes as she walks backwards. Does that make sense? The reward is going there, but I'm actually clicking for the backwards movement. So, reward goes there, click there. Reward goes there, click there. The back steps that I want to mark. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, the only reason we have some object for it to step onto is because then when they start predictably stepping backwards onto it, they start looking for that sensation. And that means that you can then increase the distance between you and that object. Yeah, so they're walking backwards, looking for that object with their back feet. So that means that they're going to move backwards further. So I want to just start that off. So you start it off by putting a piece of food between your legs, but a little bit further. We want them stretching through to get it. so that when they come back up, they're going to look for your face, and looking for your face means that they take a back step. Click or mark on that back step, and then reward again through and behind your legs. Back. Whoa! Good girl. Turn around. That was me. Cooked at the wrong time. Yeah. So Poppy's definitely understanding. I can see a lot of hind leg movement. So we're not worrying about whether or not the backing looks straight. We're not, at the moment, we don't care if the back end swings or messes about. Once they start to find their feet with the target, we can make the target more specific. So we can make it only foot size. So they have to back up to get that target so they can back up straight. You can also do things like putting barriers up so that they can't back up wonky. So you're stopping them, you're preventing them from practicing backing up wonky. But to begin with, all we're doing is any hind leg movement. If they just stand and watch you, then don't worry. Try not to lure too much. So Judith, at the minute, you're luring her to go backwards. I want her to step back to look up at your face. So stand up straight. And it's where you put that first treat that matters. If it's easier for her to go round, she's going to go round. So maybe don't put it quite so far. That's it. Now she should back up and look at you, and there's a nice little back up for you to mark. Yeah. A little bit too far for her. It's easier if it goes too far through, she might as well continue that movement through. And Sid says, this is getting tiring. She don't like to do things too often the same, does she, Sid? So I saw she was doing really, really well, and she was well into it. So if she's starting to fade off and her interest starting to fade off, don't keep pushing it. We want them to be keen. Maria's got some nice back end movements. And quite a lot. If you think about it now, she's having to walk from going all the way between your legs. She's having to do 2.5 steps with her back legs. So that's actually a big growth there. Let's have a look at Remy. Yeah, she's convinced that it's sitting. So the way we can undo the sitting is that second reward for Remy. Let's have a look. Just got you on speaker view. Okay. So we've got your dogs there. They back up, click. If you reward here from this direction, the bum's going to drop, isn't it? Yeah, because the dog's expecting a treat to be done. So click for backward movements, reward towards the chest. Yeah, that back end will tend to stay up. Plus you can get an extra back step because you're going towards the chest and they tend to back up to see if they can see the food. Whoops, I clicked at the wrong time. So try that instead. Just see if that reduces that sitting as she goes backwards. Yeah, so not as keen to sit when you're going towards the chest. Yeah, and you can see you get that tiny little extra step back as you go towards the chest instead of the bum hitting the ground. So it's nice. And again, don't do it too much. Remember, with dogs, they're not really aware of their back ends. And having to think about a new movement that your body's not really done, that's quite taxing on the brain. And we remember that the brain is the most energy hungry part of the whole body. It's the most energy hungry organ in the whole body. So even though it moved again, didn't it? Even though you feel like it's a fairly simple task and you're just doing it a few times in a row, actually for that amount of muscle memory learning that we're asking the brain to do, that's quite taxing. Yeah, so yeah, go on, Sammy. You can
say that movement's really useful because Orty can back up, he can stand there and he can back up quite nicely. So if he's going to the treat cupboard and he's got his nose in it, you just tell him to back up and he literally just backs up and sits. So it's a good movement for other things as well.
Yeah. And again, preventing that sit can be useful because if you're asking them to back up away from a person down a narrow hallway or something, and then they're sitting, they're still blocking that space, aren't they? So you want them to carry on backing up out of the way. Yeah. So have a look at your house. See if you've got sort of narrow spaces where we can start to get them to understand the concept of straight, going backwards straight. Yeah, so we already did it one way. So one way that we already did it, I've got to keep adjusting this camera, this is a little bit irritating. Okay, one way we already did it was by having them in that close position and going backwards that way. Yeah, so I'm raising her head, which makes her think that she ought to move with me, keeping my hand in her close position, and I can click for when she's moving with me. And of course now, because the wall's in the way and my body's in the way, she's more likely to learn to go straighter. Yeah, now because I'm backing her onto that thing, which I will move, and because the last couple of weeks we've been backing them into corners, she's turning her bum a little bit because she's anticipating that turn. So my next move would be to go and find a straight wall that we could back together with for a distance without her coming into an obstruction. Yeah. So what you can get, and Tyke and I, it was part of our sort of dance routine that we did, and it's not something that I've focused on teaching her particularly, but what I do like for fun is when you can do close work where you go forward and backwards together. So actually she's doing not too bad with the back legs, considering it's a slippery floor and she's a tall dog. Okay, her there, and then we can, yeah, so she's crabbing out a little bit. So again, that's why I need to bring that sort of wall work in to have that shoulder not want to kick out. So don't forget, we're trying to explain to the dogs when my body moves this way. So again, when we start doing the turns and we want them to turn with us, it's about how we hold our body, and we want them to learn that when we turn into the corner, they move with us. Yeah, so that's when we would be doing the whole, here darling, going straight there, and I'm going to turn for that corner, so that hopefully she's then going to learn when my body starts to turn, she needs to start turning. Awkward with a big dog, because she reaches the corner a lot quicker than me. We're in there, and I'm going to start turning so that she aims to keep her head and her shoulders straight to my body and moves her back end around. Does that make sense? It's all about playing with it. Just really have fun with it. And again, try not to do too many of the same things for too long with them, because they will get frustrated with it, especially when they start to get tired. They're going to start saying, oh, this is so hard. So keep it fun. Do 2, 3 of one in a row and then something else. Look at that footwork. Well done. That was fancy. That was fancy schmancy. So instead of using an inside corner, you can see there that Judith's using an outside corner, which is that's a bit fancy, that. Yeah, so you can do that. So she's using the corner to block her, and then as she turns her feet, there's nowhere for her back end to go, so she has to keep it close in so it can't grab out of the way. You can see there with Jill, beautiful backwards movement that was going on there, but she's tending to pull her back end out. So that's where you would have your wool or something. Can you see her back end's wandering outwards? Yeah. And actually, if we can get them to understand the whole concept of walking backwards with us and keeping their back end straight, for some reason, then it seems to translate really well for them into moving forward together straight. Andrew, you're so clever. I was fixated on that then. It looks good. Does it feel good?
Was that me? Did you say
Yeah.
something to me? What did you say?
I said it looks good. Does it feel good?
Yeah, she's certainly working better for higher value treats. We used to try and use her dog food, and she was like, what? This is ridiculous. So now we use chicken, and she's much more up for it.
See, Twiggy will work her socks off. So I think Remy wants to show off with her footwork, her feet on feet work, because I can see that she just loves it. Oh, yes. We could see, but we couldn't quite see your feet on the video. Oh, look at Maria. You've got dancing feet, Maria. Not only is she going backwards, but she's now doing it with a little bit of paw raising. Very fancy. Look at her. Dancing feet. Very nice. Yeah. And look how much nicer then that forward working close work becomes. It's that, it really, oh, all right, show off, Judith. What a show off. Right then, who wants to do something completely different before these dogs' legs break? Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of target stuff. I'm going to do front end targets. Now, needless to say, my proper targets are at work. So, because they did all come this way, and then we had that little unlock down thing. And then just when I thought we were all right, everything stayed there, and I tidied it up and organised it there, and I didn't want to drag it all the way back here again. So I have nothing except rubbishy, sticky notes with crosses on so that she can see them on this floor. What are we going to do? Get your dog sit either in a sit or a down. What we're going to do, one pad to begin with, and we're going paw contacts. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. And we're going to put after the paw contact, yes. So I know that you can all do this. I've seen you do it before. Yes. Okay. You're meant to be sitting. You're meant to be sitting. Or lay down, either way. I don't care. Good girl. Wait, don't roll over because that's no use to me whatsoever. Lay down. Good girl. So she's chosen her right paw to start for this game, and that's fine by me. I'm going to put it, instead of it being easy, just in front of one foot, I'm going to put it slightly more to the central side. I'm going to see if she can figure out the part. Yes, she says, I can't do this laying down. Yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly move it so that it's further over. But I'm going to keep marking for the same foot. Yes. So you can see that was quite a hard concept for her because putting your foot straight forward's quite easy. It makes sense to her to go for the other foot. But my plan is eventually that this foot will go to a target that's over there. Yeah, so she's going to target that target across the other leg and vice versa. But I want you first to find out which there, because dogs are left-handed or right-handed. She's right-handed, so she's always going to reach for things with her right paw first. So I want you to start with the dominant hand first and get them really good at it. So target starts dead easy right in front of the paw, so they can just do this, and then it's going to be that they've got to do that. And then we're going to slowly extend it so that it's over there and they've got to cross their leg to get to it. Okay, you can do that sitting, you sitting and your dog sitting, or you on the floor with them and your dog on the floor. You're going to, when you finally get to doing the distinction between left and right paws, the target objects, I think the easiest ones are things like coasters. But you need one that you've decided is definitely the right and one that is definitely always the left to make it easier for your dog. So the same colour for each paw or the same design for each paw. So to begin with, they're going to try different things. They're going to try noses and things. So it's one of the games I really think that clicker works very well with, because you can mark effort to begin with. You can mark trying to touch and touching with the foot instead of touching with the nose. And of course, we're not going to get angry if they try and do something and it's wrong. We're just going to make sure that we are telling them when they're getting it right. Okay, now if you've got a dog that's really just says, oh, can't do it, then you can start with the target in your hand, like asking for a paw, and then you can slowly put it down to the ground. But I think most of you have done paw targets, so you should be able to get it. Timing's going to have to be good, Maria, if she's going to go with both feet. You're going to have to get that click in quick as the first paw hits. So when I was doing the target training for Twiggy to learn to stand with 1 foot on each target, I did have to start with the targets in my hand so that she couldn't keep going for the wrong paw. I'd basically, if she started to reach with the wrong paw, I would move the target out of the way so that she couldn't get that click point. Okay, so let me just show you that method just so we can see if we can help them understand a little bit better. So if I take a target that I can hold in my hand and turn around so they can see you. And so if I were to ask her for paw, it would be that kind of position, wouldn't it? That's a good girl. So now I'm going to have the target, and she's pretty convinced it's a nose target. Can you do paw? Yes. Paw. Yes. 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 So you see a little bit of, she tried to go with the wrong, yes, paw. So I just moved it out of the way. Yes. So we're starting to get that going across the body. So for some dogs, that's going to be easier. It just means it's a little bit harder on your back because you've got to be down there with them. You're all right, Maria. You're getting mugged. Oh, she's in the right mood. Dodo was like this all through class yesterday when I was teaching the puppies. He was a complete monster, and I'm like, yeah, they're really going to want to have me as a dog trainer.
She just wants to put a nose on it instead of a paw.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have to be really canny with our clicks, you know, with our markers. We've got to really make sure that we catch that first paw. And Sid says, this is very frustrating. Okay, so the point to this eventually, and unfortunately it's not a behavior that I've trained, but I think, Remy, you might actually get there really quickly because you're kind of halfway there. The point to the game eventually is to have you be able to stand in front of your dog, come out the way so they can see my feet, stand in front of your dog and offer a toe as you target. Yeah, so when you are offering it straight, the dog just reaches out and straight touches that toe. But if you offer it like this, what's the dog's front end going to do? Looks very fancy, doesn't it? Yeah. So when you think about when you're training the targets, if you've trained, this is my right leg, which is she's facing me, is going to correspond to her left foreleg. Yeah, so she's mirroring me. When I do my colored targets to train them, I need to make sure that it makes sense to the dog. Because if I put that foot over there and I've moved the one that's marked for her left, she's going to have to fall over to get it. Okay, so train your targets and then put them on cue, left or right or whatever you want to call their two paws, and then do the target training again, but to your feet, using that cue for left or right. So when you see them on dog dancing and you see the dogs doing fancy things like standing in front of their owner and crossing their paws, or the owner steps twice and the dog steps at the same time as the owner does, then they're all trained in that kind of way. Yeah, Tyke used to do it. Tyke was good at it. I just need 100 more years in a week. Go on then, Sid.
She's not got, or doesn't seem to have, a dominant paw. She does it with either.
That's good.
Oh.
So all you need to do is to help her to discriminate which paw lives on which colour target, or which cue, when you start using a verbal cue, relates to which of her feet. Yeah, which we have to be very careful of, because if they're standing between us facing in the same direction, obviously for the paw targets that we've already got with them going this way, then that's going to be a completely different concept to the dog if they're facing us and targeting our feet. So that's the reason we need to make sure we've either discriminated their feet by name, that they understand is when I ask for left, you offer your left. Does that make sense? Yeah. Or by colour, by some other distinctive way of them understanding, until they've really got the concept in their head that when you move that foot, I move that foot. So then you can start doing, like on the Mary Ray videos, if you've had a chance to do it, you would start having them stand next to you and you raise the leg, and because that has now become a targeted thing, the dog's going to try and touch that leg, but you can click before they start to move it over. So then they learn, as you raise the leg, they raise the leg, and as you raise the leg, they raise the leg. Yeah? So you've seen horse trainers that have taught horses that as well. So that's a really cute little dance move for you to have a go at learning and then show me. And I love when I set little challenges. I love Leanne's face, because she's like, I can figure out how to do that. You see her tail wagging and everything. Yeah. So we'll expect some amazing videos from you then. Do you understand the concept of how to get there? Yeah, and that's the most important thing. I think as soon as you kind of know the first stage, then you can make a plan of how to get to your final idea. And that's always the tripping point for me, always. If I don't know the very first step to start that behavior, I can't build a staircase. Yeah. Anybody really don't think they understand? Have I explained it well enough? And what's the point of it? Well, again, it's all, everything that you and your dog do together and learn together builds relationship and understanding. But what if I told you that having your dog understand a cue for a particular foot, you can use it in real life? For example, if your dog's got a foot injury, you can ask for that foot. Can I have a look at your left foot? And if you've taught it well enough, your dog's going to go, oh, that one. That's all one. This is my right foot, by the way. So just so you know, I'm not messing you about. And the more that your dog can understand what you're talking about, as far as they are capable of doing so, the more they're going to go with you on whatever it is you want to do. Yeah. So go on then, let's see whether or not I'll have a go at seeing if I can get Twiggy on the foot target. But she's, do you know what? The more I thought about this, I was a bit jealous with Leanne for your foot targeting. There isn't actually a position that I can put Twiggy in where I can stretch her far enough to get her foot actually, go back a bit, back, where I can get her foot actually on my, because I can't reach far enough. So I was thinking, what we could do is, stay there a minute, There you go. It's cheat. There you go. Yes. Good girl. Stay there. And even if I pick her feet up, can you see I can't actually bring my feet close enough for her to be able to stand comfortably and safely, because her legs end up going like that with her elbows almost bending backwards. So that's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so if I can do a targeting method where she chooses to put her feet there, it might be that she'll never be able to stand on my feet and move with me, but it might be that we can do a kind of a, as I raise my right foot, you raise yours. Yeah, so at least that'll look quite cute, won't it? Shall we see? Shall we see what we can do? Come here. Come here. You ready? Go. Paw. Do paw. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Ready? Do paw. Do paw. Twig. Paw. This paw. Yes, good girl. She says there's a wall in the way. Okay, so that's probably what I would aim for with her, in rather than. So do you want to have a bash at that? If your dog's got paw on cue and they've already got a hand cue for giving paw, you could try with your dog between your legs, see whether or not you can cue a paw raise. So if they're not sure to begin with, do it from the front where they're used to seeing it requested from. Yeah, to remind them. Beautiful, nice steps, Judith. I'm loving it. I'm loving the way that you're slowly changing your body position. Fantastic. Yes, well done. That was nice, Remy. Nice, Leanne, well done. And Sid, and oh my God, you two are just like super team, aren't you? All right, very cute. Very cute. Yes, Judith's got it.
Do you know what was really impressive?
What?
Leanne stepping over that stair gate.
I know, but yeah, that's like.
Look at this, look.
There's a great big gap as well. It's not even funny. That stairgate's probably about the same height as my hip bone.
I don't think it's not that tall. It goes just a little bit past my knee, so maybe about. Oh yeah, actually, oh yeah, it'd be a bit high on your thighs, wouldn't it? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Did you forget that I'm actually a dwarf?
Not that small. You're quite tall, really. Like if I was normal size, you'd be tall. It's just I'm stupidly tall.
I'm over 5 feet. That's all that matters in the end, isn't it? Oh. Judith's on a mission. She's determined. You're getting there. You've already definitely got onto the second or third step, because I love that transition from being in front of them to asking them slightly sideways, slightly sideways, slightly sideways. So that's brilliant. Well thought through. Yeah. Did I teach you that?
Yes, I was going to say I've got a good teacher.
Did I teach you that? Did I have something to do with that? I can't remember. Such a long time, all the times that we've learned together and everything we've gone through together. And the aim obviously always having been that you become dog trainers. And I have to say, you are. You definitely are. Right, oh, well, I guess it's time to start thinking about the next one. So let's have a chitter chatter, because I don't want to just run away and just leave.
Thank you, Julie. That was a good 2 days. The thumbs in.
I was just thinking, did that hour really feel like 2 days? Oh, we've lost Judith. At least she finished on a thumbs up. Back. She's thinking about coming back.
He's so
Cheers.
cute, Andrea.
Look at him.
Oh,
Looking at
look at him.
He's a shitbag too.
Oh, Maria, just give her a cuddle. It's not even funny. She's desperate.
What?
Oh, God.
Just want kisses. Lovely.
Here. Right.
So when she
Dodo's
tries to get on my knee.
Left,
Dodo's awful when he's in that frame of mind.
left.
Especially when you're trying to focus on teaching a class and your dog is like this.
Yeah. she's been a shit bag today, can't you?
Yes.
You want to come up then? Have a look.
All right, so we're just going to put
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
I'm going to put our new expert on the spot. I just want to ask Sammy, what would you teach differently from what we've just done? What other avenues would you go down there?
In what way? Just explain it a bit more. I'm a bit thick.
Just any other ways of getting to similar behaviours. Back end movement or front end awareness and movement.
Hungry, Mum.
Any other things you've already been exposed to?
Come and see.
You really have put me on the spot, haven't you? So other ways to train it, is that what you're asking? Other ways to encourage it and... You see, why do this?
That's
You see, if you give me an hour, I'd probably be able to give you an answer. I don't
Okay,
do on the spot.
Yeah, and the only reason I've done it is because you're in a safe place, so you can have that little meltdown. Yeah, because that is how it feels all of the time when you're in front of class. All of the time, your brain is going, shit, I don't know that. Yes, I do. Hang on a minute. Oh, fuck. And I've already had a 5-minute conversation inside my head before I give you an answer 2 seconds later. Yeah.
Right.
And that is a sensation you're going to have to get used to when you start going in front of the crowds.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
never ever going to go away. Regardless of how much you know, it's never going to go away.
Right. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. So what you've just done is you've practiced that little bit of panic because you've been put on the spot, but you've done it with a safe group.
Yeah. Thank you all.
It isn't about always knowing the answer. It's about knowing a way to get your brain to the answer.
Yes. Yeah, because you do know the answer. And like I say, 10 minutes later, I'll probably go downstairs and then I'll go, that's it. Because you know it, but it's that panic when you just say, answer me it.
Yeah.
And even though I can answer you it, I can't at that point in time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
well done. You did well. You didn't have a complete meltdown. You did actually say, oh, yeah, I do know it, but hang on, I'll have a think and I'll be able to come back to you. That's a perfectly reasonable answer.
Thank you.
First thing, most people, if you say, I don't know, but I can find out, most people are going to be happy with that, as long as you do actually then come back to them and say, I found it.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like me earlier when I was thinking about, I knew how to teach that back up and I knew what the first stage was, but could I remember?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you just be honest. And I want Sammy to start teaching. I want her to start teaching soon.
I want to.
And I also am after Andrea, but don't tell her.
Why?
There was that look of panic, Andrea.
Disbelief.
You're all more than capable, and the only reason I'm picking on Andrea is she's a bit of a socialite.
Oh, what now?
You're always on social media.
All right. I
Yeah.
have no life.
Oh.
I'm stuck at home with the dogs all the time.
So am I work from home.
There we go. And now we know why these two are the superstars in the class, don't we?
We're always with our dogs.
Need to be practicing that we haven't got time to do.
If I'm honest, I did used to do a bit of dog training with no qualification other than I've been through the classes.
Oh, I'm fascinated.
But it was this was 14 years ago, so it wasn't the force-free positive training. It was it used laws, but it also used the do as I say, and this feels so much better.
Yeah, it does.
You're a bit ashamed of the last bit.
Absolutely. You know, I could cry for the way I treated Ty when we first got together, before I started learning. You know, and Jet before him, bless him. I mean, he was properly.
But we didn't know.
No.
Enough.
And now we've got these monsters. We live with these demanding monsters who can bark at us and they can say no but
Frequently do.
do.
Yeah.
And then probably the deepest relationship you've probably had with your dog.
What is it?
The biggest thing I've learned with Sid is one size doesn't fit all. So one approach isn't necessarily going to suit her. I've got to find a way that suits her, rather than think, this isn't working, I'm not doing it right, I'm going to give up. It's just a case of, okay, this approach isn't working, what else can I use? And that's where you come in.
Exactly. Julie's given us so many bits and pieces that we can draw on. So if we find something doesn't work, usually there's something else that will. It was like putting the bit between my leg. Tilly just couldn't get that at all, was nowhere near. But doing it a different way, she can get it. So you've done it, Julie.
Yeah, you've certainly
I'll
opened my
stick with
mind.
you.
And the thing is, I'm always learning, because I'll get stuck. I'll be like, why can't I do that? What is wrong? And I get frustrated, and then I'll go look and, have you seen this lot? Yeah, look.
That's how dogs must feel when they can't get what we're asking them. They must get frustrated until we find the right thing that clicks with them.
Absolutely.
I think that's why I love this so much, because like the demanding side of it and expecting a dog just to pick it up when you say, I want you to do this, I don't get, because if that was us, I'd literally have a meltdown.
Yeah.
And so like the way that Julie does it, like actually like teaching and showing and doing it through games, I find that so much more amazing. And it's so much more fun for us because we can see it when our dog clicks, and it's just like so good.
And you come out up with alternatives. It's not just this bit, do as I say. It's let's try this, and you spot what isn't working for one dog. Which, I mean, Remy and oh God, my brain's gone blank. Judith are picking up the tricks.
Poodles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas Sid doesn't do that. She will not do that. She will do more down, sit, blah, 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 but she will not do the trick stuff. Not yet.
Yeah, see,
Missy's
Remy
like
can't
that.
stay in a sit or a down for more than 3 seconds before it's like, right, let's do something else. Let's do something fun now. So it's just different dogs.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Busy.
And jumping up, that's another thing that really I can't seem to get her to get. She's so excited when she sees somebody, even when she actually has thought, yes, I'll sit. Oh, I can't do it anymore.
It's the Scrabble, isn't it? It's like that whole, oh my God, and then Scrabble.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm waiting for somebody to come with white trousers.
Okay, so with Dodo, rather than focusing on stopping the jumping up, what I focused on to begin with was no paw contact.
Okay.
Right.
And the easiest way, I think, for him to understand that was to teach him paw contact on cue. All right. So I haven't got a Dodo. We'll have to see if Twiggy's willing to demo. So you've got a dog who wants to jump up, and she did used to when she was little. So now we've put it on cue. Can you come on? Put it on cue with paw contact and off on cue to get yourself off. And then instead of cueing this one, yeah, I'm going to cue this one. So I'm going to, you can't see me treat, which isn't helping you. It's where my hand is going. Let's see, she's too tall and too short at the same time, isn't she? So my hand, cue here for pause, or cue here, right back away from me, as far as I can reach. Cue here, and up back, and no pause. So, and if the dog chooses the wrong choice, then it's the bowl game. So my physical body shifts out of the way so they can't keep that contact. So if I've requested paw contact, I'm not going to move out of the way because I've asked for it. But if I've requested them to come up with no paw contact and they try to use me as a balance board, I'm going to step my body out of the way, and that treat option's gone. Until they start to learn to balance themselves and hold themselves away with their paws out of the way. So it's I don't think with poodles, I think it's so natural for them to go up on their back ends. It's so natural for them to do that kind of dance position, which is why they used to be the dogs that were always used in circus training. That's so natural to them. But that physical contact bit, that's the bit we need to get rid of first. Does that make sense? So they can say hello by dancing, and that's really cute. The other ones that do that, Chihuahuas actually. Chihuahuas are very much a, I say hi like this kind of a breed. So I really want a Chihuahua at some point because I think it's really cute.
Does Poppy jump up, Jill?
Yes. Yeah, she does. She jumps up if she wants a cuddle or something like that. She'll jump up and wrap her front legs around your leg for a cuddle, and we say down and she'll sit, but then she's up again, and she's very good at, as we know, with her thing around her nose, she's very good on her hind legs, just up like that. Yeah, she's very good at that. But yeah, she does like to jump up to get closer to you.
Yeah. It's more visitors or the problem. We tend to control it reasonably well in the house, but it's visitors.
Yeah,
I think the thing is, your visitors are much more likely to reinforce it, aren't they? Because they're most human people who have very little dog sense, and remember that now we're getting to the point where our dog sense is so much higher than the average human. Most of them are going to go, oh, you're so cute, and your dog's going to be like, this works, this jumping up, it really works, and it especially works with strangers, so I'm going to do it more with strangers. So what I do, I'm afraid, if I've got a really jumpy dog and I've got a person that is definitely going to wind them up, I'm going to prevent them from getting it wrong. So I'm going to park them. Parking is not something, it's not force-free, but it is a really good way of managing a situation. Come here.
That's right.
So before the greeting scenario happens, we're going to have them on the lead and stand on the lead. So the dog can stand comfortably or lay down. But if they then try and jump up at all, even a little bit, that lead is going to stop that movement. Yeah. So
How does that work on a harness, Julie?
yeah, it still works on a harness. It just means that the lead is moving from this direction, but it still stops the front end coming up. So if she tries to come up now, she just can't. Look, it's not even cute or fair or funny. But better than your dog being reinforced, because as soon as they've made contact, as soon as that person squeals or says, "Oh, doggy," then they're getting reinforced for it.
Oh, that's really good.
Obviously, the nicer side, as soon as you see a person, there's going to be treats on the floor. As soon as you see a person, there's treats on the floor. So person approaching, treats on the floor. So that we constantly have this when a person comes towards me. But I would also, if you've got a real over-exuberant greeter, park them. You know, get that foot on that lead.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I've got to go because I've got to get myself dressed and sorted, ready for my outdoor one.
Okay, Clara.
Nice weather though, isn't it?
Beautiful day.
Yeah. All right, so I'll see you later.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye everybody. Take care.
Oh, I meant to say, next session, I want to investigate do as I do.
Okay.
Either referred to as concept training or modelling. So you can start having a read.
Modelling.
This is fun.
So there is a
It's
book.
you.
There is a book
not.
called Do As I Do.
Called what? Sorry.
There is a book called Do As I Do. Yeah. Or there's plenty on YouTube at Do As I Do. But I think you're all at a stage now where you should be able to do it. And the idea is that dogs can learn by copying. Yeah, it is. So the simple ones would be where you touch something and then they learn to touch something as well.
We are on next week, aren't we?
I think so.
We haven't got a week off.
What's next week?
I don't know. Let me just have a look.
I think it's next week.
Is it Mother's Day?
It's Mother's Day
Is it already?
It's a bloody hell day.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're on.
Right.
Unless you'd rather have a week off, in which case I'll tell Dawn. But if you're okay to do it, I'm available.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
No children.
You can't see them anyway.
Exactly.
Oh, I've got a new baby.
What,
Oh yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't tell you. Sorry, it's been a
Good.
right week. So
Well, are you going to expand?
a grandson.
Ah,
Yeah. Baby Arthur arrived very quickly in the end.
Was it last Sunday morning?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got to the hospital with half an hour to spare.
Oh, a bit like me with my youngest. I was like that, sat at the traffic lights of the hospital in the middle of the night. My husband was sat there waiting for it to turn green. I'm going, go.
My mum, I was her first baby. She went into labour at 8 o'clock in the morning. They rang the ambulance. The ambulance at the time, it was 1969, and the National Health Service was having a bit of a crisis when I was tiny. The ambulance wasn't turning up, and Mum was not happy. She was definitely going to have a baby. I was with my mum on the back of my dad's Norton motorcycle, which is an ex-police bike. Took me to the local hospital, so it wasn't a massive journey. But yeah, I was.
You don't want to be in labour on a motorbike.
I was almost born on the back of a motorcycle. I was born at 9:20. So that's a fast labour. That's 8. born at 9:20. Yeah, but I was 3 weeks late. So it's pretty much the story of my life. Wait until the very last minute and then do everything in a rush.
Yeah.
Gotta go. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.